Orlando Cruz is now he's 25-5-1 with 13 KOs. He is currently the only, if I'm correct, openly gay boxer. And it's like this. We have to talk about the real issues. In America today, it's like this. If you're, not comfortable with the way people live their lives, then it's like, yo, you in the super minority. You in the super minority. So, we have to talk about the fact that whenever Orlando Cruz fights, I believe he was until tonight on a 5-fight winning streak. In my opinion, the reason why he lost to Terry Flanagan is because, at most, Orlando Cruz is about 5'5", 5'5.5". Terry Flanagan is 5'10", pushing 6 foot, 135-pounder, and he is considered to be a pressure fighter, power puncher. So he's one of them type of fighters where even though he only has 13 KOs, he's undefeated. He's the WBO champion at 135. Even though he only has 13 KOs, he will wear you down, and really the damage accumulates. So Orlando Cruz could not get inside. You see what I'm saying? He was having an issue. Even from round one, you watched the first round, you could tell it was like a chess match. You could tell Orlando was trying to find a way to get in on the inside. He just couldn't. And then during that 8th round, what was it, about no more than 15 seconds into the 8th round, 20 seconds at most, Terry Flanagan just started, opening up on him. You see Orlando on the ropes in the corner, and Terry started opening up on him. Now, the 135-pound division is, I guess you could say it's somewhat deep. For example, you have, I know off the top of my head, you have, Rances Barthélemy, but we don't know if he's going to be fighting at 140 or not. You have Terry Flanagan. You have Jorge Linares, who is right now on injury again. He's the WBC, what is it? He's got one of those WBC belts, but it's one of the top ones because you have in January the 28th, if I'm correct, on the undercard of Frampton versus Santa Cruz 2, you have Mikey Garcia versus Dejan Zaklatikanen, who should be, if I'm correct, the real number one WBC champion at 135 pounds. And you have them two fighting. Yo, okay, listen. So this is what happened. I was in the hospital about a week and a half ago, and I didn't take the trash out. I was sick for the whole week. So I had made some chicken. I baked some chicken, and I skinned, I don't leave the skin on the chicken. So that trash was building up in there, and now I'm just dealing with, I just took the trash out. I'm dealing with the aftermath. But anyway, where did I leave off? You have Mikey Garcia versus Dejan Zaklatikanen, Zaklatikanen is supposed to be the WBC champion at 135 pounds, but then you have that whole Jorge Linares situation. So then you have Peter Petrov, who is, I'm a fan. He is the 135-pound number one contender for the WBA. You have Anthony Crolla, who is supposed to be, he may have a couple interim bouts, but supposed to be fighting Jorge Linares again whenever that injury situation takes care of itself. Then you have Luke Campbell, who is also on that WBC path. He's on his way back, but in my opinion, he should fight Yvonne Mindy again. You have Robert Easter, about billions fighter, but technically, really, he's an Al Heyman fighter. Thank you, Al Heyman. He is good. We saw him in a big-time Spike TV fight, which was against Richard Kami, and is that his first name? Well, basically, he's good. That was a slugfest. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, and then you have Felix Verdejo. We don't know what's going on with him. He was in a motorcycle injury, motorcycle accident, and he has, some injuries. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that 135-pound division is very rich, but Terry Flanagan has the chance to bully that division because of his height, his fighting style. He would even give, in my personal opinion, Mikey Garcia some problems. Just my personal opinion, but a lot of people who may dispute that opinion may not be sitting and watching the Box Nation fights 5:30, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on a Saturday p.m. You see what I'm saying? So they may try to fraud and act like they know who these overseas fighters are, but they really don't. I can understand they may go on YouTube and watch, but realistically, from what I've learned and, from taking data, they really don't. They just act like they know what they're talking about when they don't. So the point I'm trying to make is Terry Flanagan is good. And when it comes to what we have at the 135-pound division, Francis Barthélemy would give him some problems. But as we know, Francis Barthélemy, even though he's Cuban school, he has, some flaws. Could Terry Flanagan give Jorge Linares some problems, or Anthony Crolla? I know a lot of people over in the UK try to correct me because it sounds as though I'm not pronouncing it right, but it's Crow, like C-R-O-W, L-A. Crolla, not Corolla, like Toyota. I understand. So keep your mouth shut. Robert Easter, he would give Robert Easter some problems because with his come forward type style. And he fights in verse. Kind of like a, he's kind of like a Canelo. Like they have somewhat similar fighting styles, meaning Terry Flanagan. Now I'm a boxing fan. I do all my videos live and uncut. So therefore, whatever comes to my mind, I just say it. There's no script or anything. So I'm not trying to hype him up to be more than what he is. But what I'm saying is, for the 135-pound division, Terry Flanagan is very good. And also with his height. Their height at the division means a lot. I gotta wrap up this video. But what I wanted to say at the beginning of the video is that, listen, we gotta break that fourth wall a little bit and talk about it. I know that Orlando Cruz and his team know of this already, but he has to fight extra hard and treat every fight like his last, because one thing a heterosexual boxer does not want to do is lose to a homosexual boxer. And that's just the facts. And I hope that we're in a world which we're probably not, where you can understand that I'm not taking shots at Orlando Cruz. He's a fighter. You got to respect every fighter who gets in that ring. The point I'm trying to make is, for those, y'all know what I'm talking about, but y'all know that I'm not supposed to really talk about it, or I shouldn't. But I'm not being disrespectful, because truth be told, it's like, he's a fighter. So, and then in his situation, he's had to fight his whole life. So I'm sure he understands that other fighters, for example, I'm not saying that it's happening, but I'm saying that there's a good chance it's happening, is that, Terry Flanagan or Orlando Salido, or Daniel Ponce de Leon, even though he wasn't out the closet at that time, they may think to themselves, or their homies may say, you better not lose to that gay fighter. You see what I'm saying? We're going to just leave that at that. I am TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe. All the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. What I would like to see from Terry Flanagan next is a unification. I don't know how stringent or strenuous it is for him to make that 135 pounds. But if he stays at that weight, from what I can see, he can really, dominate. My personal opinion. I'm put it this way. In my opinion, it depends on, how good his night's going to be. He can beat Francis Barthélemy. It would be tough for him, but he can beat Francis Barthélemy. But he would have to keep that aggression up. He would have to cut the shit out that ring. He can beat a Jorge Linares. And we've seen that Jorge Linares has been, stopped before. He can beat an Anthony Crolla. He can beat a Peter Petrov. Remember, he fought Maidana. He can beat a Luke Campbell. We saw what Yvonne Minty did. He can beat a Robert Easter. We saw what Richard Comley did. Dejan's Cannon, I don't know. He's good too, but a lot of people don't know who he is. Felix Verdejo, we don't know where he really is at this point in time in his career. Am I missing some names? Mikey Garcia, that would be tough. He can give Hank Lundy some problems. Just my personal opinion. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. All the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. Please subscribe.